Hi, my name's JC, and you're watching Arts Alive Delaware. The Delaware Symphony plays a specific role in that we are the only professional orchestra in the state of Delaware. We serve the entire state. We have concerts that we perform in Dover and in Sussex County, as well as, of course, Wilmington. And we are producing and providing the highest level symphonic performances that can be seen or experienced in the region. So of course, there is fantastic music played at a very high level. The symphonic world is changing, and our repertoire is changing. It's broader than it used to be. It's more inclusive. We represent a lot of diverse composers, and as well as what we call in the business the symphonic canon. So we have, of course, symphonies by Beethoven and Brahms, etc., but we're also featuring newer compositions by younger composers, a lot of them American. Delaware Symphony has a long history of promoting and producing new works by American composers, and we're very proud of that. All of the musicians that are in the symphony are highly trained professionals. We are drawing a lot of musicians basically from within a 30-mile radius. We do have a lot of musicians that are based in and around the Philadelphia area, simply because that is kind of a hub of the arts in our region. We do have musicians, of course, that live in Delaware. We are drawing musicians from New Jersey, southern New Jersey, New York City, the Washington, D.C. area, and Baltimore as well. The level of playing is so high in this orchestra. And part of that is because this region that we live in, the Northeast Corridor of the United States, is rich with brilliant musicians, classically trained. Our musicians have gone to school, of course, at the Curtis Institute, at Juilliard, the Peabody Conservatory, and others. And the history of just amazing teaching and amazing talent in this area is really like none other in the United States. Our audiences have grown in the past 4 years particularly. In years past, the Delaware Symphony was serving sort of a small column of patrons. As we've moved and changed our programming, as we've made changes in the vision of the orchestra, we've drawn broader audiences. Our concerts here in Newcastle County and Wilmington are very well attended. We've also seen enormous growth in our audiences in Sussex County. We do a series of concerts in Lewis at Cape Henlopen High School, and they're very well received. You know, at this point, our audiences really vary in age from preschool all the way into their 90s. And, you know, that's really great for us. That's the focus if we're going to reach all of them. Of course, all the different audience members have different needs and desires. For a very young person, experiencing live acoustic symphonic music for the first time is an overwhelmingly positive experience. You know, for our audiences that we've had for years and years, I think they're enjoying the diversity that we're starting to experience with our programming. And like I say, I'm most proud of the fact that we're growing. We're seeing also a large group of people, let's say maybe in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, which might sound like it's not that unusual, but in the symphony orchestra world, it is. For many years, audiences in symphonies across the country have been aging. And of course, they still are aging, but what we're seeing now is an influx of younger audiences that are joining us, and it's really great to see. Our collaborations have also grown. I think that the Delaware Symphony, maybe in the past, had become a bit siloed, as a lot of organizations had. But we all, I believe, took a look at what we were doing and who we were doing it for, and realizing that we could draw on each other's strengths. For our education partners, we are working with Christina Cultural Arts. We're working with the YMCAs. We are working with Cab Calloway Magnet School. And we're also working with schools across the state, many times not bringing a full orchestra, of course, but taking our musicians into the classroom. And it really is a great resource for the teachers in our state. And we found that the one-on-one type of working relationship, especially in schools, has been really most positive. If you've never seen a child experience live music for the first time, it is the most amazing thing to see. With our work that we do, especially in preschools, where we're encountering young people who have really never been up close and personal with a musician, to see their fascination, to see the looks on their faces is an overwhelming experience. It's actually the reason that I keep doing the work that I do. It's not really our goal to create great musicians. It's the goal in arts education for the Delaware Symphony to help create better people. And when I say that, what I'm saying is that to give them a more well-rounded life, and give them some references that they can carry with them throughout their lives about the world in general and the arts in general. Whether it's what we do or whether it's what people are doing in the visual arts, the dramatic arts, those things are all very important to creating well-rounded humans. This exposure to live music is something that you'd be surprised even people of older ages have not had. In the past years, as our audiences have expanded and we've seen grown-ups come to the orchestra for the first time, they are having reactions similar to children that we've seen. So be with us. I think that's really what I want to say. Not only with us, be with all of our arts partners in Delaware. It's amazing work that's going on in this small state, and we should all be very proud. And as citizens, I think that not availing yourself to what we've got is really sort of a travesty. So please just be with us. Of course, if you would like to donate, we always, of course, take donations. But the other thing, too, is that if you want to volunteer with us, give us a call at our office. But also, I would encourage you to become involved as a volunteer with any of our other arts partners and organizations in Delaware. I came up through the world as a musician. I was a band kid. So when it got time to sign up for band in the 7th grade for me, that was my choice. And it's been with me all these some odd 50 years, almost 50. I've met the greatest people. I've experienced true genius through my work in the music world. The most interesting individuals, sometimes a little crazy, sometimes a lot crazy, but always an exciting experience. I come from a generation that saw our last phase of the arts sort of start to drift away, and am experiencing now this move that truly is more inclusive, that really should have probably been our goal for many years. It's exciting to see, but going back to what I said a minute ago about watching the eyes of a little child, a little young person experience what we do for the first time, whether it's listening to the symphony or whether it's hearing somebody play in their preschool class, or whether it's seeing kids at museums. It's really what it's all about. And it makes me happy, and it's what makes me feel fulfilled. It's an interesting life to dive into the professional arts, and I have absolutely no regrets, and would probably do it again, and probably make all the same mistakes and have the same successes, which also leads us to really evolve as great human beings.
Hi, my name's Rebecca, and you're watching Arts Alive Delaware. Kent County Theater Guild's role in the Delaware arts community is providing quality entertainment to the Dover, Delaware area. We're a complete nonprofit community volunteer-run organization. It's so important for the Guild to exist in Dover, Delaware, because it's not a huge arts community. We're a small city. I think we have less than 40,000 residents in the city of Dover. We've been around for 71 years, and there are plenty of times I've come across people and they haven't even heard of us. So when people are looking to get involved in the arts, whether they want to act, produce, direct, work backstage, it's a perfect opportunity for them to get involved because it's free. The Kent County Theater Guild is located at 140 Roosevelt Avenue in Dover, Delaware. We are an 80-seat house, really low-key, chill. We like to have a very homey environment, so it's not a big lobby. There's always somebody to greet you at the front desk when you walk in. So we just kind of like to create that environment there. The best way to find information about Kent County Theater Guild and what productions we're putting on or opportunities to volunteer or act is by going to our website, www.kctg.org. We list all of our main stage productions on there, as well as events and audition dates. We also are very active on our Facebook page, so it's a great way for people to find out what we're doing. So we usually do 4 main stage productions, but we also have fundraising opportunities that we do, events. We even have one monthly event called POP, which stands for Patchwork Original Plays, because the Kent County Theater Guild operates out of the Patchwork Playhouse. So that's what we call our theater. So at POP, people can write plays that are 10 minutes or less, and anybody that comes to POP can submit their play or submit their name to be drawn to act in the plays. And then at the end, everybody votes on the best play for the month. And they're theme-led too, so it kind of helps writers. So that's a great way for somebody to get involved if they've never done anything. This season at the Kent County Theater Guild, we're opening with the show Above Board. We then have our winter show, which is Scrooge Macbeth. Then we're doing Proof. Oh, the Grimm Brothers Spectaculathon. So we have a variety of shows this season, but typically we tend to lean more towards comedy because that's what a lot of people like. I'm looking forward to Proof because it's a drama, so hopefully we'll get different actors in to volunteer for that, take a more serious note. Luckily, we have a lot of really dedicated patrons, so we have the same type of people that have been coming to our theater for years and years and years. At the Kent County Theater Guild, we have opportunities for all sorts of jobs for people to volunteer, whether that's working the ticket booth, working the bar if you're interested in making drinks, working backstage, a stage crew, stage managing, running lights, sound design, lighting design, set design. We look for all of that, even costume design, but we don't typically go into period pieces, so that's a little different. But anybody that has an interest in being involved, there's all sorts of roles. And typically there's varying time commitments as well. So I know some people don't always want to volunteer because they want to invest only a little bit of time, or other people want to invest more. And so at the theater, there's a lot of different opportunities. Like somebody who wants to be even more involved can come to a board meeting if they're interested, become a member and get more involved. The Kent County Theater Guild does work with other arts organizations in the area, whether it's like sharing props or furniture if need be. Sometimes we'll share information about other shows or casting call type things for people if they want to be involved. I know in the past we've worked with local high schools to try to get high school students involved with the theater to then kind of set them up for the future. We used to do a teen apprenticeship program where students could come to the theater and learn about what it takes to be involved in a show and then put on a one-weekend production. If the general public wants to be involved with the Kent County Theater Guild, they can become members on our website, kctg.org. We are always looking for donations because we are a nonprofit. Everything that goes into the theater stays with the theater and funds the arts in Dover, Delaware. So we're always looking for members, but even if people aren't interested in being members, they can still donate to us because that helps us. Obviously buying tickets for our shows, being involved there. If we're doing fundraising, donating there. Because our organization is all volunteer led and run, having more people means greater success. When you have volunteers, what's the incentive besides keeping the arts alive at the theater? That's the incentive. So a lot of times we want more people because then we get different types of individuals and everybody brings something different to the table, which benefits, especially when it comes to like play reading, like committees. If we get different people involved, we can get different ideas, which then we can have different types of shows that we're producing, bringing in different viewers. And that's like kind of our goal, is to have greater diversity too. The more people, the better. I first got involved with the arts when I was 6 years old. I danced ballet at a local dance company for 12 years. I remember being in elementary school and there was a school play and I auditioned. Then I got involved with the Children's Theater in Dover, Delaware, and I acted with them for years. Once I got into high school, I was very involved with the Thespians, ending up becoming the president of the Thespians. I did shows with the Kent County Theater Guild when I was in middle school and high school. Just have always been involved in the arts. It's important for the public to support the arts and Kent County Theater Guild because we are a nonprofit organization. The only way for us to continue is if we have people support. If we don't have volunteers, then we can't put on shows. And unfortunately, there aren't that many theaters in Dover, Delaware putting on productions. We've had other theaters that no longer put on shows. So the more people that are supporting us, the stronger we are, and that's the only way we'll be able to put on 71 more years of shows. We try to have a very family-like environment, chill, low-key. So like recently we did a variety show as a fundraiser because we need a new curtain, and we worked with local businesses and had a raffle, so businesses donated and raffled off items and whatnot. So obviously that spreads awareness of local businesses to the people that are coming to the theater. But it was also a way for the businesses to say, like, hey, we donated these things, and people were learning about us through that. Like, oh, I had never heard of this place, which I think is like one of the things I love most. When somebody comes in and they say, I've lived in Dover for 25 years and I never knew this place existed. What a gem, because that happens. They come in, they see a show and they think, oh, that was so good. Like, we have to come back, and they do. I do think the Kent County Theater Guild is important for bringing people to our area because we don't have a lot of other local theaters. I know that people travel from out of state to see our shows because of either the actors involved or the director, assistant director, so then they're going out to eat at local restaurants, or, they're staying in town for a few days, so they're staying in local hotels. We have people from other community theaters, downstate and upstate, that come to see our shows because they want to see what we're putting on too. So then again, they're going to be supporting the community and local restaurants and things like that because they want to see what we have to offer. The Kent County Theater Guild is so incredibly special to the Dover area because we've been around for 71 years, because it's volunteer run. because we offer a wide variety of roles for people, and we have different types of events. Like we have the pop event, Patchwork Original Plays, as well as improv events. So there's kind of a taste of the arts for everybody. When we did our variety event, we asked for different people to audition to do like musical talents. Somebody that wanted to become a comedian did his first like real show in our variety show. So I just think that's really important. But I also think because we try to create this like family environment that makes people feel welcome, I think that's the goal, right? We want every single person, regardless of, religion, race, sexual orientation, whatever, we want them to come into the theater and feel welcome and want to stay and be involved. Like that is the goal.
Hi, I'm Kim, and you're watching Arts Alive Delaware. Camp Rehoboth is a nonprofit organization that was founded to support and affirm the LGBTQ community in Rehoboth Beach. And Rehoboth's founding actually grew out of the arts. Murray Archibald, who is one of the founders, is an artist and still does his art today, and it is very much a part of camp's culture that the arts are celebrated and a part of what we do. Camp Rehoboth serves everyone. The word Rehoboth actually means room for all. So we were founded with the belief that in order to affirm all gender and identities and sexual orientations, that we really needed to include everyone, no matter your sexual orientation or gender identity. And so our arts program serves everyone. Whoever wants to participate is welcome to do so. We have 4 main programs. Our chorus, which is about 100 people strong from all over the community, gay and straight. We also have our theater program, which typically does queer-themed or queer-authored theater. We also have a visual arts program, which is very diverse and brings voices, everybody, to youth programs, as well as our Letters, which is a magazine that goes out 11 times a year. It has an art cover, and this year we'll have flash fiction and poetry in it as well. What would a new patron see if they walk through our doors? We're located on 37 Baltimore Avenue. Back in the day, in the 80s and 90s, Rehoboth Beach was not a very welcoming place to the LGBTQ plus community, and so Camp Rehoboth was founded to change the culture, and it has. So our presence in downtown Rehoboth Beach on Baltimore Avenue is really important to our mission. So first you would walk up on our porch, which has 4 rocking chairs, and anyone is welcome to hang out on our porch. You enter our doors and you'll be greeted by what we call our camp concierge, which is a volunteer. Our art exhibit is right in the front 2 rooms, as well as our atrium, which is a community space in the back, which we do our theater and also have a larger exhibit wall on the back of that room. That room holds about 85 people. And then we have some offices in that building as well. We also own 39 Baltimore Avenue, which is a few retail shops. And in between 37 and 39 is a courtyard that is decorated in inclusive pride flags. And at the back of that courtyard is Lori's Cafe, which is a very famous sandwich joint, and during the summer we have about 200 people eating lunch, hanging out, communing with each other in that courtyard. Camp stands for Create a More Positive Rehoboth, so that includes everyone. As well, in November we have Voices from Stonewall, which is a play that was written by Faye Jacobs, and it is about the experience of the Stonewall Uprising and riots. And that's a repeat from the summer because it sold out so quickly. People asked for it to come back, so we'll be doing that in the middle of November. As well, we have art exhibits running the entire fall, including our Rehoboth Beach Bear exhibit, which opens actually Saturday. And we'll be looking to also, as we move into the winter, be doing an exhibit on addiction. This coming February 25, for the theater program, we'll also be doing a queer poetry slam. And so this is a great intersection of writing and acting. So we'll have poets submit their poems, and then we'll ask whether they're willing to read them or act them out, or we'll get some actors in our community to do that. As well, we have plans to work with Clear Space Theater, which is right down the street, so they're in the hood. And we'll do some work with them on hopefully an improv class and some acting classes, because we also know that in our community, the queer community, acting is something that a lot of people enjoy, and finding ways to get people to express themselves and not have to get up and be part of a production is really helpful. So those are just some of the things. Again, in February of 2025, the Camp Chorus will have its big program, and their 100-member chorus will be performing. Now, throughout the year, we have our letters, which gets released, which will have art on the cover, which will have some fiction and poetry in it as well. And that magazine is free to anyone who picks it up. We have about 4,500 to 5,000 copies that are made each month and that are accessible and free to the entire community. Yeah, some of our collaborations with other arts organizations and in Delaware in general. One of the things I did not mention about what's coming up is Coastal Concerts has a concert series starting in October, and the Galvin Cello Quartet will be performing as part of their outreach concert at Camp Rehoboth. So we've partnered with Coastal Concerts. They'll be doing 2 of their outreach concerts with us this coming year. We also partner with the Biggs Museum, and this past month had the award winners from the Delaware Division of the Arts in our exhibit, and that was really fun to see. And that exhibit and that reception were really well attended, and some really fabulous art. We also will be working with Clear Space, likely be doing some work with Milton Theater, and then we do some things like take people to New York City on a Wednesday during the winter so they can access the Broadway theater. So we try to keep the arts alive. One of the things that our chorus will do, besides having outreach concerts that the Alliance will do, they'll also participate in the Martin Luther King celebration with the Southern Delaware Alliance of Racial Justice. And so we'll be represented there and be celebrating that life as well. Go to our website, www.camprehoboth.org. You can get involved. All are welcome, whether you want to be in our chorus, whether you want to submit art, whether you want to audition for theater, and come to any of our social events, our festivals. One of the things I didn't mention is that we have 2 huge festivals a year, Women's Fest and Sun Festival, and both of those festivals include music and local artists, as well as Block Party, which is in October, and we'll have drag performers, which is another form of art, and a really important form of art these days. And that's a very family-friendly event. Folks can come out with families. It's in the middle of Jazz Festival, which is taking place in Rehoboth Beach. So there are lots of ways that folks can get involved. And if you're interested in getting on our volunteer list, you just have to email us and let us know, and we'll get you connected. I personally believe that the arts are about connecting with each other and humanity. I know as a cellist that performs with the Southern Delaware Orchestra that being part of an arts community is a wonderful way to break down barriers, to create understanding, and for people of all ages to express themselves in ways that are really personal, that allow us to see each other's vulnerability. You know, I, as a kid, when I played the cello, my sister, who was a bassist, used to give me this quote that said, "Music is the universal language." And I sincerely believe that. We can be from completely different cultures, walks of lives, and participating in the arts, music, painting, drawing, acting, writing, whatever it is, really creates, I think, a bond and a connection with others. You know, I think in a world today, we're not seeing each other's humanity. And one of the things that I love about Camp Rehoboth is that we're not an organization that's going to get in your face and confront you. This is about learning about each other and creating a community of love and acceptance, no matter who you are and what you bring to the table. And respecting the dignity in each and every person. And I think that's crucial today because there's so much divisive rhetoric that we are not seeing each other's humanity. We're not taking the time to understand each other. And that's really what the work is about Camp Rehoboth.